Hey, greetings everyone. October meeting of the Board of Parks and Recreation. The lovely Miss Judith, how you doing there, lady? Calm and relaxed. Good to see you. Oh, Jeff Vest. Yes, President of the City of Lawrence Parks Board. All around nice guy. Real quick. And I say that with a bit of jocularity, but anybody that's been around these meetings is the nice thing. We get to do 99% of the time. A lot of you have heard me say this. We get to do fun stuff, discuss fun stuff. This is the measure of a quality of life. Isn't necessarily the number of public safety folks you have, which is important, but quality of life is driven by when families and individuals get a chance to enjoy a variety of activities. And that's kind of what we're here tonight to kick around a whole lot. And an exciting addition coming not only to our city, but beyond with the Fall Creek Trail Extension. And we're going to recap real quickly our fall events we've had so far. We have one more, and I hate to wish our lives away, but you know, we're heading into eventually winter and those events. So we get to do fun stuff up here. With that being said, thank you, Ms. D, for getting the minutes out. Hopefully everybody in the board's had a chance to peruse them. If there's any additions, subtractions, or corrections, I would entertain those now. If not, I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Great. A couple of things, because we don't have an extensive list, but we have some involved things here. Eric, real quick, we just got done with September, October, from the 9/11 commemoration to Hispanic History Month and the like, and just loggers at Lawrence. We're headed into the Halloween activity. When is that and the like?
Halloween activity is the Fall Festival in conjunction with the YMCA on the 18th. Starts at 4 p.m. at Civic Plaza.
Got it. I just want to give a shout out. Where's my parks folks? She left me. Must have made her mad. A shout out to the Parks Department, and we are a small department that gets a lot of demands placed on it with all the events over the last, 3, 4, 5 weekends, culminating last weekend. We had the Purple Ribbon and the Geist Marathon, which the city, it was a coordinated effort between various City of Lawrence bodies, police, parks, street department, my cross-country team. Everybody was happy. It's called Screwing Up in Reverse. You get to do it again next year. So you guys did a great job as always. I only want to throw out, and Mr. Burns and I have already chatted. Eric, where are we at with our budget and our ability? Now, there she is. I'm going to give you a compliment. Great job. You left me for a better offer, I guess. Thank you for your efforts this past 5-6 weeks on all our events we've had. Crap just doesn't happen, and you outstanding job, and you screwed up, you get to do it all again. So nice job. All righty, thank you, dearest. Where are we at with our budget? Not only with our ability to do cut grass and all of that, but you know, parking lots, and where are we at?
We have meeting tomorrow evening to discuss the budget. The budget's in flux right now, as we've all know. So until we get that settled, the budget that we have anticipated is online with what we had last year. We are expending some monies out of the ARPA and hopefully the bond issue on a few things. The playground at Rich Hart Park, the mowers and utility vehicles we asked for should come out of the bond issue as capital bonds. So,
but as of right now, nothing is etched in concrete, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And then at your next meeting, I'll have a proposal from REA to do a master plan for the Community Park, Lee Road Park, and Alexander Park.
With what you just said there real quick, I should know this, but I don't. When is our next park system-wide master plan due?
27.
27, got it. Now, master plan for those sites, will those come out of our budget?
It's not, it's coming out of another budget, so
Okay.
we can talk offline about that, but it's not
Okay.
coming out of our budget.
We have a pseudo sketch of what we've envisioned for Lee Road Park already
Yeah,
and the
I'm
like.
sure that will incorporate a lot of those ideas also.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question about this page in the budget.
Okay,
Hey, it shows that we're getting $445,000 more than we got in 2024, but if you go to the line item budget, it doesn't show that.
it's not, so there was 250 taken out, well, and roughly 450 taken out for various things. We actually reduced the budget some. We had items in for Jamie's special events, then we cut that down. She's going to do a lot more fundraising, but we cut that budget down, cut about 70,000 out of that request. And then 250 was for this project here that we're going to discuss tonight. Again, I'm told that the funding will come from either the ARPA or the bond issue that was passed earlier this year.
But this is what the current's been printing. And that's not correct. Am I right about that? Because the line item budget shows like 1.7 in 2024 and 1.6
6
in
now.
2025. Is that the correct one?
That's what we're working off of, yes. Now,
Is
again,
that the one that's in Gateway?
yes,
Okay.
Yeah, because this doesn't show that.
right.
And, it shows DPW getting a cut and we're getting a lot more money and so, which is not true.
I invite you to come to the council meeting tomorrow to,
I've watched the council meetings, so I kind of know what's going on and that's just.
so that's the boat we're in, and so we're hoping that,
But if somebody asked me what the budget for next year is, it would be 1.6.
right now is what it shows.
I know it's
Yes,
not adopted.
Yes.
But that's the proposed budget.
correct.
Okay. The number of employees that we have,
Uh-huh.
okay, tell me how that's going to compare to what we had at the beginning of this year.
So now we have, I've got to count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8. And then we've got 2 positions that we hope to fill at the beginning of the year,
That's full-time?
full-time positions, and they'll be in the maintenance division.
Okay, so how many maintenance people will we have compared to how many we had at the beginning of 2024?
We'll have one more because we just lost Ron G was the only one we actually lost, but with 2 more positions, we'll be up to 6 full-time positions in the maintenance division.
So we're adding 1 to the maintenance.
Correct.
And then how many other positions are we paying for out of our budget other than maintenance?
The 2 positions that we're paying for are Jamie and Jamie's position as the special event coordinator and Roman's position as a recreation coordinator.
Okay. Wanted to make sure we had that straight. I had some other specific questions. I don't know if we'll be able to come up with the answers for these or not, but the employer's share of health insurance, that was way down. How does that go down?
Well, we're not sure we asked the same question, so
Say that again?
we asked the same question.
Okay.
We're not anywhere close to our max right now. I don't have an appropriation report in front of me, but we're only about 50% expended, so I don't know if it's over emphasized in the budget for this year or not.
So based on experience, they're guessing that would be what it would be?
Yes.
Okay. Under supplies, gasoline, way down.
No,
Gasoline, it was 32,000 in 2024 was the budget. It was only 23% of that left as of the end of June, but yet the budget was cut by $5,000.
right. So that PO is appropriate at the beginning of the year. So we take nearly that full amount and appropriate it to that.
You're guessing that 27,000 would cover,
Yes, and years past, we've generally had plenty in that account and could actually transfer out of that account, and we have in years past.
and same thing for diesel?
Yeah, we were comfortable enough that they asked for some cuts, and that was one that we felt comfortable giving them, a $5,000 cut in those two line items.
And then there, under supplies, there's two other lines.
Okay?
One, in 2024, those added up to be 40,000, and then in 2025, there's 70,000. What comes out of other?
Well, I know that the main reason that one went up this, we've added 40,000 for the fireworks display. Put that in our general budget item this year.
Okay.
Because we paid for that this year out of just scrimping, and so we actually put it in as a line item in the budget.
Okay, I see that. Dan, some questions about the other service charges. Liability went up by a bunch. What's 48,000 to 80,000? What?
Again, we don't,
No?
the controller puts those numbers in. We
Okay,
do not put those
I
numbers.
understand that you
Yeah.
don't control all of that.
Insurance, personnel services, we do not, we give them a list of personnel, but we do not,
Yeah, okay,
you know,
I understand
the controller fills those in.
How about electric, water, sewage? Those are all,
That should be all the same.
yeah, 20, electric, well, it was looked kind of funny because it said 87% of that was remaining in June. How did that?
Since COVID, we haven't been getting a lot of our billing system. It's really strange. So we don't, but
Is the billing through the city or from the electric company?
It's for AES.
yeah. I know at home I get my bill regularly, but for some reason, our numbers have been off the last 2 years. So
Wow.
actually, they went to the activity center and checked the meter because we didn't have any reading on it. So they pulled the meter and put a new meter in. So
Wow, that's amazing.
yeah,
I think they want their money. They always
Yeah.
want money otherwise.
Yeah.
How about water? On water, the water bill, there was only 2.2% remaining in June, but the budget's been cut by $5,000. Does that make any sense?
that one doesn't make much sense. I know we just had a $4,000 bill, but that came in after June. That just came in last month, I believe.
Because I think there was only 2% remaining, so you didn't even have enough money to pay the water bill in the water account, according to what it says on the budget.
I'll have to look at that. I can pull appropriation report up and let you know. That one,
Same thing for sewage. It said nothing was remaining, that you'd spend all of it. Or the city would spend all of
and
it.
that's generally something we don't adjust because it's fairly flat. I mean, it has been the years, so.
I don't understand that.
Okay, well, I'll look into it and see.
It doesn't make too much sense.
When I hear that, are we looking at having to make some serious adjustments at the end of the year to make things balance out? Transfers and the like?
We don't have much transfer, so it's going to be pretty close.
Okay.
We've already been doing some interdepartmental transfers to, we had to,
There was a couple other things. The principal and interest that's in that, it was cut down to $1. What's the?
that was for the purchase, when we purchased our backhoe 2 years ago,
Okay.
and that was rolled into the bond issue
Okay.
and paid out.
Okay.
That's the only outstanding debt we had.
Okay. Then there's another other account in that went from 82,000 to 164,000. You know what that's about? It's under
439.
other service charges. It's it's 439.
439.
Yes.
That was for the
For-
events. That was for the events and the fireworks and stuff. in that account.
And the
Okay, but-
239 was,
439,
yeah, about 239,
oh, was that mulch?
could be.
But the fireworks is already within another account. Next year.
Well, I mean, I can go get my budget book and tell you, right? If you want to hold on a minute, I can do that.
Yeah, I just wonder why, you
Yeah.
know, because it went up by double,
What account number is that?
439.020.
Yeah, that's for that we were budgeting for the events and the fireworks in the 439.
What was the other
one?
account? That was in our supply materials?
Yeah, the other one that I quit, it was 423.015 and 429.010.
That's
40 to 70.
additional fertilizer and mulch, and because we've got our playgrounds up to par because we used so much of the
Okay.
bar this year,
Yeah.
that we up that area to increase because we want to keep the mulch filled in
So
all the
that
playgrounds.
that was a different other.
Yes,
account.
yeah, that's a supply account.
Okay, now I
The
see where.
other one is a contractual account.
Yeah. Then internal service charges,
There's two of them. One's for the controller's office, and that's how they fund their department, is through internal services to all the other departments.
so they're not going to charge you anything for those next year.
Right. And then the other internal is for the city garage,
Right,
and that's a percentage that we pay to the city garage.
but we're not paying that next year.
I don't know.
I'm with you.
Will we be servicing our own fleet then?
No, I mean, there's some things that can't do.
Right, I'm going to say change of oil, general maintenance will
We can
continue,
still
but,
do that, but the big thing, we've got a truck over there getting a new O2 sensor in today, so,
okay.
I mean, we can do that sort of thing, we just don't have the manpower or
Right.
the technology to do it.
So we're going to be able to get those things done, it's just a matter of how they do the accounting?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I thought. The non-reverting fund, the spending out of the non-reverting fund, that's going down too?
That is just, yeah, we didn't foresee the need to spend as much out of non-diverting, which just keeps our funds available for other
Yeah, I understand
projects.
it's still there.
It is.
It's not going anyplace.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll save that. You know, we can always go back and ask for a reappropriation of those funds if we need to.
Okay. Helps me understand a little
Okay.
bit better, so I appreciate your answers on those.
Thank you, Mr. Tom. Anybody else have questions for Eric? Real quick, Eric, because I get emails regularly, I'm going to work in reverse here. Where's Heartland Film and the work we discussed and approved last month?
If I know that they've got the roof or the ceiling done, I have not seen any invoices from it, so
Okay.
I will reach out to them, see if they've,
And the other one is, I get several emails a week now, since tonight is a trails night. When are we doing a grand opening of the short trail?
actually next week, the 17th at 2:30 in the
Are
afternoon.
we going to send formal invitations to
Those are
folks that
going out.
made it happen,
Those are going out tomorrow.
especially to Joe Murphy?
He's
got
on
it.
the list.
He asked me about it today at practice, and I said, yep. We didn't do that to make it happen, so good to hear that. We have a couple things here, more than a couple things. We're going to jump ahead. Eric, do you have any other updates that we've missed?
No, I had the ribbon cutting, and we've got a skate park project that will probably bring you greater details next month. But,
Okay.
we've got some ideas to put a couple features in there.
Oh, okay.
And want to look at funding or assistance in funding, so.
Got it. All right, the first of our fun stuff, we're going to jump down under new business. We are skipping over old. We have presentation Counselor Liz and company, come forward, please. And this is a continuation of projects that this department has done a very nice job supporting. It's a new Eagle Scout project. It's all yours.
Hello, I am Liz Mazur, an at-large counselor on the City of Lawrence Common Council, and I'm going to talk to you about something that will not cost the City of Lawrence a penny. Anything. So, did everyone hear that? Okay. So.
Anybody from the press here, make sure you get that quoted right.
Okay, so I am so excited to introduce you to Vernon Isaacs. Come on and stand up here. And he has a friend who is working with him, but his friend was unable to come. But they are Boy Scouts who are in the process of creating an Eagle Scout project. They are ardent environmentalists, and they want to do a product which helps the City of Lawrence, which, as we all know, from the sign outside the government building, is a Monarch City, USA. Initially, these young men wanted to plant native pollinator-friendly plantings along the side of the Gen Park Dog Park fence, which is along 63rd Street. For reasons which have not been made clear, this proposal was nixed. This was a setback, but these Boy Scouts will persevere. They looked at several other options and decided on installing more pollinator-friendly native plantings at the Richard Street Park. Of course, if there's any chance that they could pursue their initial plan, they would jump on it. Let me have Vernon talk to you now. Please welcome this upstanding young man.
This ain't work. Hi, my name is Vernon Douglas Isaacs IV. I am a 10th grader at Lawrence North. I attended Amy Beverland Elementary for my 6 years at elementary school, 2 years at Fall Creek Valley for middle school, and now 2 years and counting at LN for high school. I'm a Life Scout for Troop 276, and because of that, the next part would be my Eagle Scout, which means I have to do my Eagle Scout project. So originally, the proposal was Richard Street. The proposal is Richard Street Park, but we're hoping to consider the Gen Park project. So our plan would be to order seeds, use a sod cutter, and plant these seeds in November or December. At Gen Park, we would do the square feet of about 260 feet along the dog park fence on 63rd. And the reason for this, and the reason I kind of wanted to do this, is because, again, I went to Fall Creek Valley Middle School, and on the way there, you see Gen Park, and I mean, that fence, everyone can see it. I've grown up with it. I grew up in Lawrence, so you can see that fence at a lot of the time, and sprucing that up and making that look better. Especially for people that are on their way to school or on their way to work, I think is very important, and it matters to me. And I would like to plant those native species there. Again, like Liz said, this would not cost us a penny. So we would use Economy Prairie Mix, which has around 6 to 7 native grasses and sedges and 10 to 13 native flowers that we and my troop 276 could purchase on our own. If not, we would just be adding to the half an acre already at Richard Street Park near Harrison Hill. But I hope you guys consider Gen Park on 63rd, because I think it's a great project. I think making that fence look better would mean a lot to the city and a lot to me. Yeah.
Eric, we sat in with Counselor Mazur last month, seems like ages ago. We expressed kind of our reservations. You and I had reservations of doing anything along that fence row on 63rd Street. In my opinion, it's my humble opinion, the maintenance issue of that park is pretty high as it is, especially which I compliment Councilor Mazur. We are scaling back how we treat it with our weeds and the like, and compliment the neighbors that came out and spoke on behalf of quit using, Roundup and the like. I personally am advocating the Richard Street Park site. A big reason is I think there's an opportunity to involve the folks that live in that neighborhood. Become a part of more ownership of that park. I know with the dog park, it's kind of like our youth sports fields. There's distinct ownership by the folks that participate and the folks that oversee those organizations. I'd like to see, and this could be a team effort through the mayor's office, you, the council, us, who are the neighborhood group over there, to get them involved with participating in not only your project, but maybe expanded it even further over there. That's my stance. Eric and I lived over there in that neck of the woods for many a years. I'm old enough, Mr. Wells is definitely old enough to remember when that was a splash park, the wading pool back in the day. Played a lot of basketball there and the like. I just think, though, that's one of those pocket parks we have that kind of is an afterthought to folks outside of our Little League, youth football, soccer fields, and dog park. I really think it needs some attention. I think this is an opportunity to bring attention to that park. That's just my own personal opinion.
Yeah.
And the like. Anyone?
It's really a nice park,
Yes.
but it's stuck back. And I don't think everybody realizes how nice it really is. So anything we could do to show people how nice that park is and possibilities there, really good.
And again, we're slated a new piece of playground equipment there for next year, so that would help drive people to the park. And again, take the ownership of from the neighborhood if it's provided.
From this seat and not from this seat, I've advocated forever and ever and ever. I grew up that part of Lawrence, older part of Lawrence. I can call it that. I lived there, grew up there. I'd love to see parks south of Pendleton Pike, too. I just think some of our parks, older parks, and our more established parts of the city of Lawrence just need some TLC. Community Park is our biggest one, but it's known for athletic events and a community center. The playground park in Oak Landing is iconic because nothing else, the water tower. And I'd just like to see an opportunity that we are paying attention to other parts of the city that I believe need some attention and the like.
Mr. President,
Yes.
is there a neighborhood group to work with there?
Eric?
I don't know. We'd have to talk to the Crime Watch and see if there's a Crime Watch. If there's a Crime Watch captain there, then maybe we could work.
Who is, I should know this, who's the council person for that district?
I think it's Mr. Wells.
Is that you, Mr. Rick? The Richard Park, that's your district, correct, sir?
45th and Richard.
It's my,
Is it? Okay, whoever said that, thank you. I think that would be an opportunity to reach out to Councilman Giles in conjunction with our at-large council folks, just see if we can weed out who, because we worked with gentlemen to clean that up a couple years back during the COVID period. See if you can dig that name up, and that's the direction I would emphasize I'd like to go. Anyone else?
is there a reason though for not doing the dog park area? I see what your point is, and I think it's well taken, but
Just the general maintenance of it along that fence row. Eric is,
It's, and I know Liz doesn't like to hear this, but, we're so limited on staff that, if we get it weed eated once or twice a year, then that's it. And in other park locations, we use pre-emergence and
okay.
to keep the weeds down, so we don't have to do it, so,
I don't want to create more maintenance.
right.
That's,
Go ahead, Liz.
we don't have enough of
Can I
that anyway.
address that?
yes, go ahead.
That if you plant they will be doing, it's called kraut, looks like the seeds will be packed in so closely together that the opportunity for weeds will be very limited. I don't know, if you look at the pollinator-friendly plantings that are at the dog park, there are few weeds in that area that's been established. Some come up every now and again, some Canada thistle, and get rid of it. But it would actually lessen your work because you wouldn't have to be weed whacking along the fence because those plants would be there. You just have to mow along the perimeter of them.
I'm going to ask what may sound like a goofy question, but I'm goofy unto itself. Visibility into the park, if we were, it's a goofy question, I admit it.
Now, if it's, I don't know that it would make any difference. I don't know. I don't think it would. Again, you could do it as a back screen or something. I don't know. But
Yeah. I think the Richard Park way is the way.
Now, what's the acreage? What's the size again?
The square feet would be around 260 feet.
I'm a simple man, so what's 260 square feet look like?
about half the size of this stage up here.
Okay.
And it's like, here's the fence, and then the plants would be planted along it, like 2 feet out.
Yeah.
Along the fence.
All right. Any other question?
I think maybe at Gen Park, as the public goes by, they might think that that was just weeds, though. I'm afraid of that. You know, it looks like we're not keeping the maintenance part of it up, and
We're still in the education piece, yeah.
we're maybe not there yet.
Yes. That was one of my concerns. To me, that I'll speak once more for myself. To me, it sounds like a bit of a cop-out, but it's the truth. There's a serious education piece that has to still go in to convince people of this.
And they are planning on there would be signage too. If people have concerns about it, the signage would explain the purpose and the reasoning for the plantings, which would be benefiting the pollinators, which are very important. And we're thinking globally and acting locally. It would lessen the work of the park department because they would not have to be weed whacking. They would just mow on the outskirts of it. So I won't go into lecture mode.
She's the educator.
Yes, I was going to say, we can lecture. God knows we can.
Yep.
All right. Anything else? I'm going to throw out here, how do we approach this? Do we just, give our preference? Do we have to do a formal?
I would just do a motion that you have a preference that it either be it.
I would entertain a motion that we approve Eagle Scout project in conjunction with our playground addition at Richard Park, commensurate for 2024.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Now, what role would you guys need from us, the City of Lawrence Parks Department?
I think they're going to do it all with manpower from 276, I believe. They're going to get a sod cutter and actually do all the work. So,
Holy hell.
yeah.
We get it done.
I'll come out and watch. I'm a good watcher, and I know I can bark orders, okay? I can do that.
And as a thank you for listening to this presentation, we have some
I need some.
milkweed seeds for you.
I need some. Thank you. Good job, young man. Hey! There's hope for the future. There are times.
Thank you.
Thanks, son.
How'd you do on your PSAT today?
Oh, I mean, that English part was all right. The math part, I mean,
Did it kick your butt?
yeah, because it's all over Algebra 2, and I'm 10th grade, so
Ooh.
I'm in geometry.
Pi r round, k r squared. So there you go. All right. Thank you kindly. Next up on the agenda, and those glasses aren't strong enough. We're going to talk about senior programming. Roman, if you're available, brother, come on down. My arms aren't quite long enough. Do it, sir.
Hello, my name is Roman Kofer. I'm the recreation coordinator here. It's been brought to our attention that there's a need for more senior programming here in the city. So that's exactly what we did. Next Thursday, we'll be starting a senior game day called Golden Hour Game Day over at Community Park from 11 to 12. We'll have it every Thursday. We'll be playing board games, card games, any kind of game we can get our hands on, just to create fun and a good space for our seniors to come and meet other seniors and to have fellowship.
I like it. And it's all going to be run out of our office in the light, correct?
Community center, yes.
Yep.
You said from 11 to 12?
From 11 to 12.
And it will be at the community center?
Yes.
Okay. Are you in charge?
I am. Yeah, so I'm happy to do it though. So,
Good.
so
Thank you very much.
no problem, no
That's
problem.
exciting.
Stay of the week.
Thursday? 11 to 12.
Next up is Ms. Richardson here at the little library. There she is. Thought she was. Madam,
I apologize for being a little late tonight.
I need a tardy pass.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank you for approval last month to put one at Oak Landon. Just ran into a little snag.
Just one?
Yeah, just a little snag. We had it all marked and everything like that, and we could only get the stake driven down about a foot. And so I need to have it remarked and maybe look at a different location, and I'll work with Eric on that.
Okay. Eric, is there any, God forbid, any utility issues or anything we need to consider?
The location that we originally chose didn't have any issues, but
I think it's just rock underneath.
Oh,
The
God,
guy-
what do you think? Yes,
Well,
yes.
the guy was saying that if there's a lot of utilities around it, there may be rock under there supporting.
and I'm not too sure Railroad Street didn't run all the way down through there, so it might be so.
This is sub-bed there, yep. We'll make it
So
happen.
I'm going to make it happen. So anyway, I'm back here requesting to be able to install one at the Lawrence Community Park. So I don't have really a big spiel. It's kind of the same thing.
Where would you put it there?
Well, and again, I guess I want to work with Eric and you to find out what you suggest. I went out yesterday and just kind of took pictures around the main building there. As you pull in the parking lot, and everybody knows how it is, but on the left side, which would be, I guess, the north side, the pavilion, and then the playground is back there, back behind the pavilion. I guess my initial thought is maybe on that end, or maybe towards the front, a little more central, because these are, they're primarily targeting kids. They're kids' books, but there's also grown-up. I say grown-up, not adult books, grown-up books. And so I'm really open. So I guess I thought I'd work with Eric and see what he thinks, and
Eric, one or two places, that area between the playground and the community center, I like that, but I also like between the two entrances in the front of community center also, which is a central location.
Yeah.
yeah, and I think I took a picture of that. It's kind of, yeah. There's the red door. Yeah, there's a grassy area right out
Kind of a
there.
grassy knoll. I know it's not good syntax
Right.
there.
Yeah.
but that grassy knoll area between the two entrances.
Well, I remember from the discussion about Oak Landon, you kind of wanted it towards the front of
Yes.
the park. And so I was thinking along the same lines. Even though the park or the playground's kind of around the back,
Right.
I think we still want to have it up towards the front.
Keep it visible, security, all of that. Yes, please.
So, I'll work with Eric.
Work with
and-
Eric. We can make it happen.
And as far as the look on, I did bring you this month a copy of just the little, what the shed looks like, or the box, I call it. But then also the steward's guide. Last month I had to keep my copy that you had, so I just
Yes.
wanted to give you that. And I apologize, the copy is cut off. But the one that I have for this park, I purchased it already finished.
Oh, wow.
So it has like a kind of a light teal blue painted on it. I haven't really decided whether to keep that just plain or whether to put decoration on it, so.
I would try to keep it plain for now, because I hate to say it, it might get decorated, and that's a constant battle regardless. There's some fine artists out there.
That's fine with me. With Oak Landon, we did decorate. On one side, we have like a rainbow, and it says "Love to Read," and on the other side is a very, I attempted to paint the water tower on there, so, and then it says Oak Landon, but it's.
We may have to incorporate some local artists. We have a couple up there at Lawrence North, and Miss Missouri had some kids out that were artistic enough to take care of some buildings.
I'm totally fine with doing
hook
just
you up
the
with her.
blue initially, and then
Okay.
we can do that down the road. So
Right.
anyway, I wanted to go ahead and just give this to you.
Thank you.
And then it has, this is just my name and address, but it's an invoice from the library. And this is the charter number for. Right here. So once I get it installed, I'll get that registered so it goes on the
Yes,
map
ma'am.
for it.
Thank you
And then
kindly.
people can look it up, so.
Real quick, I'd entertain a motion to put I'll call it a little free library located somewhere in Community Park.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? All right, let's get one going. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Give me a call next week, we'll meet up and
Okay.
we'll we'll look at the planter box possibly at Oak Landon.
That might be a good spot.
Okay.
I've already got over 1,200 books donated.
Holy hell.
So I'm on this.
Jesus God. That was gonna be one of my questions. How do you're okay then. Inventory's not an issue.
Post out there, anybody to get rid of books or?
You got to get a shipping container.
No supply chain issues there. All right, last tonight is an exciting moment. Just to introduce what we have here. Eric and I, Mr. Wells, even Dee, most of us, Tom and Miss Taylor, we've been around City of Lawrence for more years than we'd like to realize. You know, Lawrence had the first curbside recycling in Marion County way back in the day under the Snyder administration. We've moved up. We actually have a sledding hill. We have a, thank you, glad Miss Judith came wandering in. We have an arts league in the city of Lawrence. We have a cultural campus, and anybody that's spent any time in the city of Lawrence, the idea of culture in Lawrence, a little iffy at times. We have a wonderful cultural campus. Of course, we have an incredible partnership with Heartland Films, and they're getting ready to kick off their film festival. We have a great civic plaza and the like, and we have trails in Lawrence. Goes back to quality of life. You cannot, yes, you can quantify quality of life issues for a community. We have an incredible new library. The Purple Line will be coming online this week. Those are quality of life issues. And tonight we're going to have a presentation, an update of all the partnerships that were involved. They talk about a teamwork for the Fall Creek Greenway extension. It was a partnership between State DNR, Indy Parks, Indy DPW, the former administration working with the former Chief of Staff Corey Korn, putting together, working hard, digging down deep, and holy hell, when we found out we got the grant, and we just went, whoa. It kind of floored me when the Next Level Trails folks met in, I think it was November of last year or December, over at the Garrison. I wondered if that was a sign that good things were going to come to us. And people, this is a giant deal. And that's why it's, yes, in the newer part of Lawrence. That's kind of why I was emphasizing the not so newer part of Lawrence needed some TLC. But this is an opportunity. You hear the term connectivity, quality of life, a coming together. But what excites me the most is this is a partnership, because I get on Indy with Unigov's butt a whole lot when I'm sitting up here. We pay for stuff that they don't have to pay for, but this was truly a partnership, and it was a graduate class in grant writing, and my Indy folks, wow. I walk out of those meetings about 80 times smarter than I entered into them. And if you ever and it was not snooze learning. It was go, 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 go all the time. And with that being said, Eric, I'll let you introduce and kick this off.
So tonight we have Don Colvin with the Indy Parks and Gretchen Zortman, and who else is here? And we're going to, actually, I'm just going to have Nikki from RGI stand up and
Yes, save
tell
us
us all
from
about
ourselves.
it. And if you could, Nikki, keep it layman's terms, please.
How's everyone doing tonight?
Living it up.
I don't know which way to face this kind of way. Well, my name is Nikki Kalk. I'm Director of Transportation Services for Resolution Group. We are a local Indianapolis-based women-owned engineering firm, and I'm very excited to be involved in this project. I've personally have about 24 years experience in this field, primarily all in Indiana, and including parks, trails, and so it's a passion project for me. So we're super excited. But today, really, I'm just here to give you an update where we're at from the engineering side. I could go into as much boring details as you want, but really just want to give you an overview, talk about schedule, and kind of where we're at in the process. So again, this got news about the grant end of last year, going into this year. We had done some preliminary work. We'd already done some surveying, started looking at utilities and an overview of the environmental impacts. That's one of our biggest challenges with this project, is just getting through the environmental permitting due to the nature of the project and where it's located. So to date, we are about 50% complete with the design plans. We've got alignment laid out and some boards, and members of our team will be around after the meeting as well. We're happy to discuss in detail, but while looking at the boards, just some of the details about the project. But about 50% through with design, like I was saying. Now we're starting to move into the permitting process. And just to give some details kind of about the project, we're going to be starting at Lee and 63rd. There's a trail that was recently completed there by United, who I see is in the room. So we're going to be connecting to that piece. We've been coordinating with them. We're going to proceed north along the west side of Lee Road, and we're trying to maintain as much distance as possible with this trail between the road, from the roadway, for safety, and then for just more of a feel, more of a feel with nature too. So we're going to be kind of dipping into the trees a little bit along Lee Road, but coming around the bend, and when we cross over the river, we will be utilizing the existing bridge as part of this project. So we are doing a road diet, if you will. Those lanes are going to become a little bit more narrow, and there is a section on the board here kind of showing that concept. And then there'll be a positive protection, we call it barrier, between the vehicles and the trail along the path. And then we'll come along and cross. And then the fun part, this is my favorite part, is continuing north to the loop. We really dive into the woods. And so the team, when we first kicked this off, we all literally, boots on the ground, walked that trail.
You're down there, aren't you?
Yes.
How far, real quick, not to interrupt.
You're good.
How far are you below, for lack of a term, the roadbed?
Pretty far. We are not, once we kind of get north, we're not near the road at all. We are down
You're in it.
in the woods, yes. And so we have boardwalk proposed along there, because this is also floodplain. So this is where we get into the permitting issues. So any kind of fill material that's going to impact the floodplain. So to kind of help with that, we're putting in boardwalk, so it's less of an impact. We're going to have just kind of nice little lookout areas as well. So it's just going to be really just in nature and really, really beautiful. So that's kind of the gist of the project. And again, I'm happy to go over as much detail. I want to answer any questions that you have. Schedule-wise, I have copies of the schedule. Everyone's welcome to them.
Come fetch.
But we are, let's see,
We've got some
got here.
stuff already.
Hopefully there's enough.
Not that big, though.
These are big.
They're big, yeah.
I'll bring the crayons to the plate.
Thank you. That's this, right? Yeah,
It
okay.
is this, yeah, we got them already.
Yes. Now, just to emphasize real quick, reason why this presentation is a true partnership between state and local, but Lawrence is overseeing the grant,
Correct.
and it's making Mr. Martin a little more gray than he already is. But the grant, it lies with us. The city of Lawrence has a matching of how much?
250.
And we had the Wilderness Friends. They were great partnerships. I left out some of the civic or the public partnerships, which I apologize. Various conservatories that were interested. My other hat I used to wear as president of Fort Harrison Reuse Authority. We dedicated $30,000 towards this because doesn't stand isolated, but this is a City of Lawrence project, period. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, even though that when it runs north on Fall Creek, you go into Indianapolis for a bit, and then when you tie into the Upper Fall Creek Trail, there at 79 at Kroger, then you're back in the City of Lawrence. That is the only Indianapolis park that is located within the City of Lawrence, but it has its own issue with AES and all that happy stuff, which we don't need to kick around. And with that being said, from my board, if you have questions, go ahead. And if my board doesn't have additional, I'm going to open it up to the public if they have questions. So, board, if you have questions, I've been in the weeds with this since Corey started writing the grant until we got it. Like I said, I got a chance to be involved with some extremely impressive people that, holy hell, I'm a smarter man for it. And if my board doesn't have questions, I'm going to open it up to the public. Go ahead, sir.
On Lee Road, between Philippi Drive and the VFW, there's a very steep hill.
Yes,
How will
yes.
the trail be graded so it can be accessible by bicycles and pedestrians?
Absolutely, great question. So we are, we do have design standards for that. We keep the slope 5%. I don't want to get too technical here. But basically, in order to maneuver that area, we're doing a bit of a winding or a switchback, if you will, in order to keep our grades ADA compliant. No problem.
We're working off a 75-foot easement
Correct.
from the center, or from the side of the road, correct? I think it is, or maybe center line. So
I think it's from the
quite a
side.
bit of area that we can work into the park, so to speak.
Go ahead. Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah.
I know this involves more complex relationships with the state, but any discussions about connecting into the state park from
Oh, good Lord. Me and pigs right now. That's what you're getting. Go ahead.
I guess.
Jeff, can you take this?
Yes, I will, and Eric and I can. To be rightly honest, I will never say that my cross-country team has ever entered the park from that way. I will never throw them under the bus, but they have. At this time, there's no really desire from the state to go down that road, and Eric, you can fill in the
Yeah,
blanks.
but I think the administration, the DNR administration might have a little different eye now since Schaffner Road is open. and-
Right.
And they have the ability to, they do charge the bicycle entries.
Right.
They buy a.
I think it's one of those, if you build it, they may come, and the state will see an opportunity of what they're losing out of. So as that trail, I'm going to use a big word, matriculates down Lee Road, they could see a vested interest in putting a gatehouse there. Ma'am?
Currently, the bicyclists go out of the park down Boy Scout Road.
Right.
So I'm, minimum, I'm seeing that type of opening.
Yep.
Versus a formal or a trailhead.
Yeah.
Trailhead would be great,
Yes, ma'am.
but something like the Boy Scout. That doesn't sound like
Yes, Mr. Councilman Nick, give you a homework assignment. I know I'm about 15 years late for giving you a homework assignment. Had Nick as a student back in the day, but make a few phone calls, would you please? I'd appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
did think that the idea was to connect that trail to the Fall Creek Greenway. That's, at least that's what Dr. Russner was talking about when he was
It is.
trying to link the two. And I know that when the Fall Creek Greenway over Fall Creek, whether it's Boy Scout Road or 71st Street, it's extremely dangerous.
Yes.
Because the traffic doesn't lend itself to accommodating bicycles. And if that trail, if that is part of the deal. I know there was a proposal to put that trail on the south side of the bridge instead of on the north side of the bridge, which would have alleviated a lot of that traffic interaction. So I'm just a little confused because I thought part of this whole project was to link Fall Creek Greenway in with this, whatever you want to call it.
Just going to say, let the experts here, that's out of my
So
scope.
Brendan's over at DPW, I'm the program manager for Green Basin Trails. So you will be connected to the Fall Creek Greenway via Fort Harrison. And I think what you're referring to is the 71st Street Trail, or Northtown Trail that goes over to Skylar Test and Johnson Road. You can contact or connect both of those via Fall Creek Greenway, which currently, actually, after completion, will come up from 79th Street, all the way down to 10th and Indiana, connected to the cultural trail expansion and everything. There's a bigger picture map, and you can kind of see how that connection comes with the 71st Street Trail that you're talking about, that proceeds south down Johnson Road into Skiles Test Nature Park and Preserve, and then
Yeah, I'm really talking further north of that where
Sure.
Boy Scout Road.
Boy Scout Road, so this is a conversation that has been PW for Indy applied for the Boy Scout Road connection in partnership with City of Lawrence, along 56th Street and then Boy Scout Road into Lawrence and then heading. That application was not approved or accepted, and this is pre my time at DPW, so at least 8 to 10 years ago. It did not score well from the perspective of how that's laid out from the MPO. And so the MPO is the Metropolitan Planning Organization that oversees central federal highway funds that gets transferred to NDOT and to MPO regions throughout the state, and we can apply for that.
I'm going to pick
Here's
it.
mud.
There you go.
We have tried, it was not successful. We look for partnerships to just even bridge across the highway between kind of Indy over to the road to get north is currently about $1.5 million, let alone like getting down.
My DPW friend, real quick,
It's on our radar.
by us, I call it the short trail, the long trail, into the future with our adding onto the short trail, the 63rd Street Trail. Will that help us in the future to score better if we wish to, Mr. Missouri's ideal, this help us score better when we go to seek new grants down the road?
So the Next Level Trails grant, so first the section that's under construction or coming near completion is part of what they call local. And so
Right.
it really just gets to the heart of contacting your state representatives when it comes December, January, when they're negotiating budget to continue that program to around 5. There's talks of cutting it with the new governor's elections, and it's going to be up in the air from what I hear when I talk to state representatives. So again, contact your state representatives, please speak out. Next Level Trails has had a huge impact across our state, both rural and urban areas. With Central Indiana securing multiple millions and millions of dollars.
We're getting close to a closed circuit.
Yeah, it is amazing what we've been able to do. So continuing north, it would score well as a regional opportunity, which has previously been up to $5 million. So kind of getting that 79th Street improvements, I think, and then as we go through kind of the natural surface and making some improvements in access opportunities there, and then there's kind of a stretch between 90th and 96, and it would get us completely into the Fishers and Geist trail network.
Ma'am, you had a question? Yes, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Howdy.
Thank you very much for having this meeting. Thank everybody for all their efforts. Gentleman to my left and his traffic. Really concerned about it. I live in a neighborhood adjacent to Fall Creek. So for me to use the trail, I would have to cross Fall Creek and Lee Road potentially. So I would really appreciate three things. First, the efforts for pedestrian safety and calling road. Second, just some basic on how you and bicycle the trail.
And you're talking coming across Fall Creek?
Correct.
From the west.
north
Yes, ma'am.
to the south,
Mhm.
and then just any other comments.
Take that one.
I guess I can speak specifically, pedestrian safety in general, as it's, when it comes to the vehicles and such, and particularly along Lee Road. I mean, this is really the area where the trail's gonna be closest to the road, but we're still maintaining as much separation as possible. We have what we call a clear zone, and that's a distance that we try to maintain between the vehicles, the edge of the traveled way, and then the path. We try to keep bare minimum 10 feet. I try to get at least 20. I've got kids, and so I always have that in the forefront of my mind. As far as the speeding and in the road, I can't speak much to that. But with this project, we are including really at 2 points. At the Fall Creek crossing, we're going to be doing a signal improvement here and adding crosswalks and pedestrian push buttons. So that will all be actuated and.
Was that a part of it?
71st Street, so 71st and Fall Creek Road. So we are crossing on the east side of that intersection.
So
So
the crosswalk will go east.
crosswalk will go north-south on the east side of that intersection. So the intersection is laid out like this, and this is north. We are crossing on this east side.
And then you have the potential to cross it again.
We have maps, we can lay out details, and I can turn this.
Clear for this conversation.
Yep.
Trails east or west.
So here's the intersection, here's Fall Creek Road, here's 71st Street. So the trail will be coming up from the current trail expansion that is in construction up Lee Road. On the east side? On the east side. So we'll have a maintained minimum of 10 feet. West side of Lee. West side, sorry, thanks. West side of Lee, south side of 71st, and then you will
Find her ass with a
cross
compass.
north and then head into Indy Park.
So it stays.
Correct.
Yes.
I mean, the only reason I asked about that mound.
Oh, you were inside my head, yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
those posts get knocked down, like sport, or always, they're just not there anymore because like. So are there gonna be traffic?
So it'll be highest best standards as far as safety and trail design and layout goes. And so what I mean by that, when I say that, it is where it is possible, based on kind of topography, we are separated from the road as far as possible. So the only place where you will be as closer, I would say, to a travel lane is on the 71st Street Bridge. But we will have a concrete barrier with rails.
So what I'm asking, just so I'm clear,
Sure.
I'm not clear about what you're saying.
We have
Are
the
you
graphics
going-
up here.
I gotcha, and I'm gonna go look at it.
Got it?
What I wanna know,
Yep.
as well, you're gonna put cement or urban barrier to protect me from cars.
The only place that will be necessary, where we do not have a distance that is a safe enough distance, is on the 71st Street Bridge on the south side, where a concrete barrier with a minimum of a 54-inch rail will be placed between the travel lane. That will also include a 2-foot buffer between the travel lanes on the vehicular lane side, so where the cars drive on the road, and then a minimum of a 10-foot width. No, so we currently do not light outside of street lights and intersections. So intersections should be lit, that's a road safety concern. We do not light greenways and trails, both cost, but also this area actually comes into a protected ecological corridor conservation area in which we are not allowed to have overhead street lights or habitat.
Go ahead, ma'am.
So we, go ahead, well, I didn't, yeah. So we are currently, the main part of the scope connects to the Geist Loop Trail parking lot, which you can access off Fall Creek Road. We are building in what they call an alternate. So if there's additional money after we bid it out for construction, make improvements on Geist Loop Trail. We are not addressing the crossing at 79th Street right now. We're not following north of 79th Street as a part of this grant and this scope of work. I heard you say earlier. It is on our radar.
It's a goal.
When Jeff was asking about future grant opportunities,
it's a goal.
and partnerships and prioritization as far as grant scoring.
Real quick with my engineering friends here, is there, as far as public safety, is there a comparable project that's been completed that we could put inside our head that addresses the public safety concern?
I think the recent expansion of Fall Creek from probably 25th and Meridian in Indianapolis down to Birdsall Parkway, on the Central Canal Towpath.
Okay.
Is a great example. So it has both that grade separation where you kind of meander through park-like settings, through our beautiful new parks, but also comes into areas where we are utilizing existing historic bridges as a part of our crossing network.
Any other questions? Oh, there's one.
I know you're engineers, but,
Landscape
Dirty word.
well then,
I'm the engineer.
There you go.
Chirp, chirp.
what will be on the side of the trails when you are not in the woods? Is it far ahead? This data that doesn't load? What is the plan?
There are opportunities. So I'm I know, so I will speak for Indy Greenways and Trails, and we are looking for opportunities where we have worked with a land stewardship ecologist and the team within Indy to develop a seed that is both native forbs and native sedges and grasses. It maintains a 3-foot or below, and then we'd like to space those kind of at least 2 feet off of the edge of pavement, and both next to cars or where the curb will be, right? Because you get flop over, and then maintenance. And then, there's signage that we put. So where the space allows, I think there's opportunity to plant something like that. That is not a no maintenance, but it is a lower maintenance option. And then we will look for partnerships with like our Indy Urban Wilderness, City of Lawrence, City Parks, our land stewardship and ecology teams. Boy Scouts, yes.
There you go.
Yes, right? Yeah.
This is a very fascinating project, and I wasn't familiar with it. Is there, well, 2 questions. Is there either a website or somewhere available that you have fact sheet or information? I want to go read about it.
It's on our city websites.
City website?
Yeah, cityoflawrence.org.
Okay. The other question, you mentioned, come January or so to contact legislators as far as additional funding or keep the funding going.
Keep the funding going.
I wouldn't even know what language to use to
Yeah.
request that. Is there anyone to contact to help? At least
Yeah, I can
give me-
I can talk to Representative Hamilton. So Kerry Hamilton, I think, covers this district. And then, Representative Johnson can probably also assist with developing some kind of a template or language that pushes both the importance of maintaining what we call the State Greenways Caucus Committee. So it's a bipartisan group that was established by Kerry Hamilton and others, but also the continuation of the Next Level Trails funding for the impact.
Because if anything else, that Next Level Trail project is a prime example of, it's rare in this world, it's rare political error, but it's true bipartisanship when it was first brought up, so,
It is until the 24th hour before.
yeah, there you go. Yes.
That's how that works. Blake Johnson. Andre Carson, who is our congressperson is Carson in this area. He's super active as well. Carrie is the one that helped establish the Greenways Caucus, so she well versed.
Yes, sir.
One question, there's some pretty long stretches here. Like, won't have any egress or exit. 63rd Street all the way to Fall Creek. One stretch, is that right? No places to get on or off the trail.
The adjacent land use doesn't really dictate necessarily ADA ramps. So we look for opportunities.
I don't mean ramps necessarily, I just mean ways to get a bicycle on the trail without walking through the grass. There's only one neighborhood on that stretch, and that's Trophy Hills.
Yep.
And I wondered if there was any thought of a spur off the trail from Trophy Drive, get access to the trail from that.
We can discuss it.
That's a good idea.
Might be worthwhile. And then the other long stretch, obviously, is from 71st Street to the Loop Trail. Is that going to be primarily setbacks so far as visible from Fall Creek Road?
Yes.
Any safety? Safety for pedestrians who may be out there, not basically.
Like emergency.
Isolated, right?
Yeah.
So we have an emergency location panel system that is created as a part of our trail wayfinding and sign packages, right? And so it identifies every quarter mile a specific code. So if you are to become injured or something is to happen, and most people have cell phones these days, you are able to call an emergency response and give them kind of the closest proximity. And that's explained on like trailhead signs and other information. As far as anything else goes, our greenways and trails are open 24 hours a day. And so it is kind of a risk assessment as a rider, right, and user of the trail. So don't go out alone if you're at night, right, and use headlights and taillights, and it's required by state law.
Miss Judy? Yes, not necessarily.
So if we rode our bike up, would we be able to get?
There's like a little side path off
Yes.
the back of this, yeah, like kind of in this area. Yeah, and access, and then there's a northern section which you can actually kind of see over on that map a little bit. I'm more familiar with it than I am.
On COVID.
Deputy Director of Indy Parks. 30+ years of service.
I happen to live in Lawrence. I'm really excited about this project as well. I happen to live in Lawrence Township, so it's the first trail. I've had the opportunity to work on every trail in Indianapolis in my career. Because Greenways used to be under my division before we ended to a very. This is the first trail I can actually get to from where I live. The Upper Fall Creek Loop Trail has been there for a while behind Kroger's, so we're gonna start at the parking lot as mentioned, and get right over into the Kroger's. So our idea is to be able to get to Sunday's Ice Cream and Kroger's and then you can pick up some lunch. We also have an agreement with the Citizen Energy Group to go behind what used to be FC Tucker's. There's a trailhead right there, and we have a working agreement with them that you can use their service drive in that trail to go all the way up to the top of where the dam is. Then you can get onto the sidewalks, which will get you to 96. Phase 2, not part of this, or phase 3, would be to get that paved, to go underneath 79th Street, tie into the CEG service drives, and make that a paved trail all the way up to 96. So that's our long-term vision collectively. that we're working on as a city. And this is, thank you for mentioning, this is a great partnership between the city of Indianapolis and the city of Lawrence. For so many years, Eric and I have tried to have relationships, and he's a great guy. And we do this behind the scenes, but this one went extremely public, that we were able to announce our relationship and how we could partner together to accomplish goals for both our citizens of Marion. This is a really exciting time for us to be here. This was delicate, as Jeff mentioned. There was a lot of commitments we had to make with the state because of the nature preserves. So originally, everybody knows there's a much easier pass if you go through the nature preserve that's basically already built. But that was not acceptable because of their protection of the natural habitats in there. And honestly, when we introduce guests into our trails, sometimes it's hard to keep them on our trails. So they do get in. There was some illegal mountain bike trails already being built in there that they were trying to manage. So that kind of spoiled it for everyone. So that's why we're on the other side of the nature preserve and on, you know, the west side of Fall Creek. That's kind of a bit out. And where we're coming along the south side of 71st Street. But they were very generous with working with us and giving as much right-of-way land that we needed and willing to move the fence if we also needed. There also, another criteria was, at this time, it could change in the future, was they wanted us to drive patrons to their front gate.
Yes.
They're a pay-to-play, and that's very important to them, so we had to take that in consideration for this relationship, for them to approve everything that we were doing. But if you do go through the fort, which is a great experience, come out on the other side and get on Skiles Test, that Fall Creek Trail, and there you go, you're tied into it. Yes. It's my most favorite trail of all the trails. I'm not supposed to pick. It is my favorite.
Oh, I have a favorite. It's Fall Creek.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Don.
Any concerns? Always concerns. Let's make this happen. Didn't look at the calendar. What's our next big date?
Did you need crayons to put in there?
Yes.
I mean, really now it's the permitting is what's going to dictate the
Right,
schedule.
right.
We have no control over the agencies that are reviewing, but that's kind of where we're at. And so it's a bit of a game. So we'll see how long their review times are, but that's really what's driving schedule at this point. So the schedule that you do see, obviously, you know, moving target. If their review time is 3 months less, we could get started 3 months
Mainly
sooner.
permits, I think, are
Yes.
a challenge.
Even our little trail we made my head spin.
Giant
Yeah.
boardwalks and piers that you have to go down, and environmental protections that are there, and they're in place for a reason. So
Yes.
we're targeting a fall of 2025 bid for a 25 through 26 construction schedule.
Got it.
You can be out there spring of 27.
Thank you very much, guys. This was a giant task, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
I love working with you.
Want to reiterate our partnership, so we appreciate all the
Yes.
work that you guys have done and put forth. We also were able to secure a $1.75 million grant from CICF, so Central Indiana Community Foundation of Indianapolis.
Yes.
Through the Lilly Endowment to help with a majority of the match contributions.
And that's those citizen partnership with the Indy Wilderness folks, and it's just wow. It was like juggling chainsaws for a while, but man, crap can get done.
I only lost a couple fingers.
There you go. Well, thank you very much.
And I'll be here as late as anybody wants to answer questions and discuss, so.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from the board? Yes, again, thank you. Are there any other questions from the audience concerning anything parks? And my Lawrence Wharf Wildcats are ranked second in the states and 7-0, so it's a good time to be a Wildcat.
Football.
Eric and I are still working through that.
Okay, all right.
All right, with that being said, we're adjourned.